Greetings, light workers and truth seekers. This is Oya Transformation with a message, just a little bit of good medicine for this day. It is January the 12th, Wednesday, 2022. It's a new year. I haven't had a lot to say this year. Trying to get back in flow. We have these motions that we do to stay in balance, and sometimes quiet is the best place to find your way back to the middle. So here's a 3-card reading for today, and hopefully it'll give you something to motivate you on this Hump Wednesday. The first card that was prayed upon and drawn for this message is from the Hoodoo Tarot deck, and it is the Daughter of Baskets. Now, in this story, this daughter was Tituba, and she was a teenage slave girl. And she was thought to have witchcraft and not trusted. Because she was from the Arawak tribe, the Puritans did not find her familiar and were suspicious of her. In her basket, what she is known for is carrying the good news and water for tea. She carries in her basket baneberries, and baneberries we know today as cohosh. And in the beginning of the winter, cohosh is good for coughs and sore throats and common colds and phlegm. So she brings us good news because she is reminding us that as the season changes, it's time for us to do the things that we need to do to ensure that these vehicles that we have are running at the optimal. Now, she trusts in her medicine. And the second card that was drawn for this reading is from the Louise Hay deck, and it is I Trust My Inner Wisdom. It says, as I go about my daily affairs, I listen to my own guidance. My intuition is always on my side. I trust it to be there at all times, and I am safe. Well, the Daughter of Baskets knows that she can't give the medicine that she gave her body in the fall and stay healthy, because it's a new medicine that is required for the winter so that we stay healthy. And she asked that we take a moment to trust in our own intuition. I mean, there have been a couple of generations that have gone by that have gotten us in this place now, because we used to trust our bodies. We used to trust the signs that we saw in nature as to what it was to do, what was next. We knew what our cycles were. Because now we work on 3 or 4 different shifts, and we are not necessarily at one with our circadian rhythms, we aren't necessarily also at one with our bodies. We've lost a lot of our learning about herbs and nature and how we keep these bodies running. And we've given it all to allopathic medicine, and we say, so the doctor said. So the doctor said. Well, there's a whole lot that goes on before we ask the doctor what she or he has to say. So be at one with your body. Know that it will always talk to you. And the doctor can't say any more than what you tell him or her based on your best listening. So we move to the final card in this 3-card reading, and it's from the Animal Medicine deck. And it is Swan Medicine. Well, the swan in this story is flying around, and it's looking down, and it sees a pond. But to it, because it is its first flight, it sees the biggest black hole it's ever seen. A dragonfly goes by, and the swan asks the dragonfly, what's the deal with the black hole? And the dragonfly says, with permission, you can go into the black hole and it will dispel illusions, but you have to ask Great Spirit for permission. So the swan did ask Great Spirit for permission and dived down to the black hole, which it found out once it got there was a pond. And the swan, who had thought of himself or herself from time to time as an ugly duckling, because we have both of these things running at all times. Sometimes we know ourselves to be divine and full of grace, and sometimes we look at illusion and see an ugly duckling. But after the swan spent a few days, hours, time in reflection in the pond, it recognized that it was, in truth, beauty and grace. So, this card wants us to know that if we learn to surrender to the grace of the rhythm of the universe and slip from our physical bodies into reflection or dream time, the swan medicine will teach us that all planes of consciousness are with us at all times, and it is our job to trust Great Spirit for protection and to accept the grace of our divinity. This is the message for today. Take care of your body. Common cold, all kinds of regular stuff are there that may give us a hit and make us available for all kinds of other bugs that we don't want. So begin to remember who you are. That is, you are a divine spirit who knows all that you need to know. It is just time to be quiet, to reflect, and recognize that grace is always yours. Thank you for listening. Happy Wednesday, and have the best day of your choosing. Namaste.